Do you have cranky knees, but you still want to be able to do yoga? I totally get you. I hear you. I myself have two bad knees, and over the years, I have figured out a lot of different ways to make my knees happy during my yoga practice so that I can enjoy yoga and not make my knees even more cranky. So, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Heather, and I make videos about yoga, strength training, nutrition, and mindset. And in today's video, what I wanted to do is share with you a couple different things that I share with people who have bad knees. Now, just to give you a little bit of a backstory, I'm going to show you here. If you can see on my legs, I have this scar right here on this knee. And then on this knee, I have this scar right here, along with some other smaller scars that you probably can't see on the camera, but they're just due to the pins. So I have two rods in both my legs, one in each leg. And between my hips and my feet, I have 13 different screws, okay? So what I have done over the years is figured out a lot of different ways to modify yoga poses and bringing things into my yoga practice to help make my knees a little less angry. The first is going to be a set of knee pads. So you can buy these daisy pads. They come in a pair, but if you've only got one bad knee, you might only need to use one. That's fine. Keep one in your car for when you're at the yoga studio. Keep one at home for when you're practicing yoga at home. And what these are nice squishy pads that they've got a smooth area right here for you, for your knee, and it's squishy. And so if you're doing yoga at a yoga studio or you're doing yoga outside, or maybe even at your gym and the floor is really hard. So the floor between a yoga studio, your gym, wherever you're doing yoga at home might be very different. I know at my gym, the yoga studio, the floor is wood. It's hard. There's absolutely no give. So if you just have your yoga mat on the floor, and that can really be painful on your knees, okay? So this squishy pad here is a wonderful help with that. I've got a link to this in the description if you want to check this out. They're not super expensive. You can get them at Target. You can get them on Amazon. There's a lot of different options. Now, if you look at my home setup here, I have underneath here is these squishy gym floor pads. Okay, I got these at Costco, and underneath it is my carpeting. So I have a very squishy floor here at home for my home yoga practice. Sometimes it does impact some of the balancing poses that I'm doing because it's not as super sturdy, but it's got the squish and the give for when I'm practicing yoga on my knees, okay? So if you've got a carpeted floor, that might be nice for you as well. Think about just the type of flooring that you're doing your yoga practice on. Another option, if you don't have the squishy pads or you don't have the option to have the gym floor underneath, when you're doing a pose that requires you to put weight on your knees, you can bend your yoga mat, fold it over like this, and then when you're doing a pose that's on a knee, you can just come onto your yoga mat like this, okay? So you can fold it once, you can fold it twice. Don't be worried about cracking it or bending it or anything. That's what they're made to do. So you can certainly do that in yoga class, and if your knee is bugging you, and it's getting cranky, just fold it over. You don't have to wait for the teacher to tell you to do that, okay? Just do it. Do what you need to do for your body. All right, so that's the first thing, is to find something a little squishy to help with the hardness of the floor. The second is to get a good set of blocks that you can use to help with bringing the floor up to you. All right, so when we think about using yoga blocks, we think about bringing the floor up to you. Look at what I'm doing right now with my knees, the way I'm sitting. I am just now able to do this, okay? The longest time I was not able to do this. I can even feel the stretch here in this quad just because that knee is still tight. But this kind of goes into what I'm going to say here, is that when you come into some of these poses, maybe sitting like this or even child's pose, what you can do is you can place the block underneath your bum, and you can sit on the block, and that brings the floor up to you, okay? So in this position here, it's giving me a little bit of relief on my quad muscles. So when I back all the way back onto my heels, my knee is tight, so what ends up happening is it pulls on my quad muscle here, okay? So you can use the yoga block to bring the floor up to you. You can also do this in child's pose. I know a lot of people like to say that child's pose is their favorite pose or it's an easy pose, But guess what? If you've got bad hips, if you've got bad knees, or if you've got bad ankles, or all three of them, child's pose can be one of the most difficult yoga poses to do, okay? So in child's pose, you bring your knees to the outside of your mat. You bring the bottoms of your feet together, bring your ankles together here. And then you can take a yoga block, place it. I place it, right back towards my feet. You got to kind of figure out where your hips are going to go. But when you come back into child's pose, you can rest your bum on the block, and then you can come forward into child's pose, okay? And you just got to kind of adjust it. And you can set it at different heights. You can set it at different heights. Just got to play around and, figure out what feels best for your knee, okay? Or knees. So use those blocks in any pose, any position that you're doing in yoga. That's really going to help bring the floor up to you, okay? It's also going to help decrease the angle of your knee, all right? So if you're having trouble, with knee stiffness, or you can't necessarily bend your knee fully, what you can do is you can place a block behind your knee or between your hips and your ankle to prevent that knee from trying to bend in a way that it's not ready to bend. Another really great option for you if you have bad knees is to tuck your toes rather than having the tops of your feet on your yoga mat. You can tuck your toes, which is going to start to take the pressure off the front of your knee. Now let me show you here. So I've got a block underneath my hip here. Say I'm in child's pose and I come up into a tabletop position. So tabletop position is when you're on all fours here. Your hips are over your knees. Your shoulders are over your wrist, okay? So now look at my feet. Look at the tops of my feet are placed on my mat. Now this feels okay for me because I have the cushioning underneath my yoga mat here, okay? So this feels okay for me. But if I'm in a yoga studio or at the gym or somewhere else where the floor is harder or the ground is harder, what you can do is you can tuck your toes. So rather than having the top of your foot on your mat, tuck your toes, and that starts to bring some of the pressure off the front of your knee, okay? So that might be an option that you'll want to try. If you're having some cranky knees, you're at that point in life, the knees are getting a little angry with you, just try tucking your toes in some of those positions, specifically tabletop. That will help take some of that pressure off the top of your knee. So a couple options here for you to help bring some props, some options into your yoga practice. If you've got cranky knees, is to get some squishy knee pads, fold over your yoga mat, maybe use some blocks to bring the floor up to you, and then find different creative ways that you can tuck your toes in various yoga poses to help take that pressure off of your knees. If there is some other yoga pose, a very specific yoga pose that you are trying to figure out how to do, and you're struggling with your knees or your hips or your ankles, please certainly leave me a note in the comments and I will make a tutorial on some different options for you in whatever pose it is that you're looking for some guidance on. So I do have links for the squishy pads here and the yoga blocks in the description for you. You can check those out. You can purchase them on Amazon. I've also got another video where I go over the difference between cork yoga blocks and foam yoga blocks and which might be better for you. If you are somebody who is over 35, over 40, over 50, and wants some additional support for your joints, blocks can be a wonderful way to, like I said, it helps bring the floor up to you and create different shapes for your body that's going to be a little less wonky on your knees. So I hope that you found this video helpful. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and maybe share this video with somebody who you think might find it helpful. And I'll see you soon. Thank you.